Hey, welcome, Jen here, and today we're talking about areas where you fall short. What to do about it and what to not do about it. Mostly, don't beat yourself up about it, okay? So I'm Jen Kunkel. I'm the creator of the Wild Worth Method to get you from feeling insignificant, invisible, and unfulfilled and to unleash your wild, savvy self where you know exactly who you are, what you stand for, and what you want your life to be, and you're taking purposeful, inspired action towards that life. Most importantly, you're enjoying the journey along the way, because that is the most important part. Enjoying yourself and feeling fulfilled and really gratified, having that life that feels gratifying to you. So, one area that I recently realized I was falling down on is my physical health. And that's actually from pillar number 2 of the Wild Worth Method, where we look at what we influence in our environment and what influences us. So the physical body is one of the environments, and if you're not taking really good care of it, then you're not going to have the energy to do everything else. You might have health issues, so if you're not paying attention to it, it's going to call you anyway. It's going to call you out. A couple of years ago, I ended up in the hospital with a bacterial abscess in my abdomen, which was super weird, and they still don't really know why that happened. I came to the conclusion I came to the suspicion anyway that it had something to do with intestinal health, and I was doing some things around that to kind of change my eating a little bit, and things got better. And then I sort of let that backslide because so your physical body, you usually look at that as one set of goals. It's like, okay, I want to be fit or work out every day or eat healthier or maybe all of those things. And then you need to establish environments. Well, it's helpful anyway. The principles of the Wild Worth Method and the Extraordinary Life Blueprint that I have as a part of that, which that's basically pillar number 4, which is design. That's the Extraordinary Life Blueprint. And the foundation of that is that when you set a goal, you want to create your world to make it easier to achieve that goal. Okay, so one of those areas is so a lot of times your goal is around your physical body, but it's also an environment that helps you achieve your fulfillment in life. So we kind of have like multiple layers going on here. So when you have goals around your physical body, then you look again at, okay, what can we do in our environment to support that and make it easier, and what is pulling us back, what's making it more difficult. So I spend a lot of time with people who don't really care about what they eat. My family is kind of a mixture, and nobody except my mom actually eats as healthy as I like to. And she also has this issue because my bonus dad, he's not concerned about that so much. So we struggle, with balancing out, because there's always the food that they want around, and it's tempting. I mean, we're human, it's not like, but I do know that when I got into really good habits, that stuff was not as tempting to me. The sweets, the sugar, that kind of thing. So my significant other also loves sweets, and I have never eaten so many sweets in my life in the past few years that I've been with him. So I have to be really disciplined or shift my environment. Not him. I'm just saying, like, if I get myself into those habits and start eating really, really clean and get past that first initial part, then I know that it's not even going to appeal to me, because it didn't before, and it's it's kind of like the AA thing where, an alcoholic will say, oh, I can't even have one drink. Sometimes I feel like, at least when you're first starting out, I feel like I can't even have, one donut, which donuts are probably like one of the worst things. Anyhow, so my point is, that I just kind of wanted to share this because it's something that's going on for me right now that kind of came to the forefront, and I decided to tackle it again. And it got me thinking about how people go about, how you would go about setting your goals and creating how all the Wild Earth methodology actually structures around that. So like I said, it's kind of that two-tiered thing where your physical health is actually an environment in itself in terms of everything else in your life. You want to have your physical health intact, strong, solid, so that you can have the energy and the stamina and the strength and the motivation, the physical, like energetic motivation to do things and to live life to the fullest. And, to be honest, I've actually gotten pretty sluggish lately. And a lot of that has to do with physical, because I put on pounds. I'm not, haven't been eating well. I've been just, sugar if I want to or whatever. And my downfall actually is the foo-foo coffees. So I did get off coffee for a while. And I also, that's not good for me in so many ways. None of this is any kind of medical advice or anything like that. So you always, want to speak to your own physician when you're designing any kind of healthcare plans. So I'm really just, or, wellness or fitness or whatever, to make sure that you are adept to it. So I'm not really talking about the specifics of what I'm doing as far as, I'm just walking in the mornings right now, the last couple of days, and I realized it's only been 3 days actually. The first day I did like a really quick little mile just to kind of go, and a little bit of floor exercises. And the second day I did a little over 2 miles. And then today I did, it was a little over an hour. I clocked it more. I didn't have a landmark for where I turned back to go back the other way, so I'm not sure exactly how many miles it was, but I think it was about 3-ish, maybe a little bit more. And it was a little over an hour, because would have been an hour except for I slowed down at the end. And I realized today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just feel like exhausted and drained because I've gotten so out of shape, which is horrendous to me. From the time that I was 19 until I was 30, I worked out almost every single day. If I worked out 4 or 5 days in a week, I was like, oh my gosh, I only worked out 4 days this week. And I meant it. I was not being dramatic. I really was like, wow, I fell short of what I usually do, because I was that hardcore about going to the gym. There were times when I would go to the gym twice a day, like a lot of times. When I first started working out, I would actually go in the morning before work, and I would do weights, and I was about 19 or something like that. And I would then, and after work, I'd just shower, get ready for work there. And after work, I would go to an aerobics class at least 3 times a week, maybe more. And not necessarily every day, because sometimes I had something to do after work, but at least 3 times a week. I would go twice a day. And I remember one summer when I was in college, so I would have been in my 20s then, I went twice a day in the summer, because I was not taking classes that summer and I just was bored. So I went to the gym twice a day. Now I don't really, you have to find what works for you at the time of life that you're in. So what worked yesterday, or what worked 5 years ago, what worked yesterday is probably going to work today and tomorrow. But what worked like 5 years ago might not work for you anymore. Even the way that you eat might not work for you. But like I said, we're not really specifically talking about physical body goals. We're just talking about when you backslide and how to kind of regroup. So you can use the tools in the Wild Earth methodology to help you regroup, just like I am. So I'm recognizing the things that kind of throw me off track, and I'm addressing those. So I'm making sure, that I have a habit. Get right out of bed, go for the walk, do something physical, and I have my specifics that I need to that I'm lining out and that I'm doing. Drink the water, have it scheduled, systems. It's all about systems, really. and creating those environmental systems that keep you going on the path that you want to go on, and don't let the distractions actually distract you. So that's how the influence of environment kind of works, is you identify the things that are distracting you, you identify things that will motivate you more. Like I have a party to go to in 3 weeks where I want to wear something sleeveless, so I want my arms to look better. So that's part of my motivation. So you have all of these little tools that you use, and you put them together, and it helps you come back from a backslide. And really, even if it's a big backslide, if it's something that maybe it's something that you've always wanted to address and you never did. So even if it's a brand new goal, maybe a stale goal or something, we all call that, something that's old that you have always wanted to work on, maybe you put some effort in for a couple of days, and then you just kind of fizzled out because you didn't have a systematic plan to move you forward, to help you and support you when you have those down moments, because you will. Like sheer brute force willpower, honestly, it virtually never works. It almost never works. I won't say never, because some people are, just really willpower driven. But I would suspect that there's probably some kind of other drive behind that, when people who seem to have willpower just kind of seem like they power through. They're getting some kind of other gratification from that method. So like some people just thrive on the struggle or the push or whatever it might be, but it's just uncommon. So most of us, we need to have a system in place. We need to have some kind of structure and support to help us when we set goals, whatever the goals are. It doesn't even matter, to help us stay on track, stay with that consistency, because any goal can be achieved. Any goal, the most crazy pipe dream goal just about, can be achieved if you have a system in place. If you have a plan that's actually going to get you to, if you have a roadmap that's actually going to get you to that end result, and you keep taking consistent action towards that result, and you're going to get there faster if you have systems in place that keep you into that consistent action, because that's usually the downfall, is the consistent action. My cousins have a business that is a really unique business idea, or it was when they started it anyway, and they've had a lot of copycats. And then they said, we don't really worry about those. And I asked them why. And the answer was that they said, well, the other people it's an online business. And they said that the other people just don't really treat it like a business. And I think that's what happens with a lot of businesses, is people aren't treating it like a business. That happens with a lot of goals, is you're not treating it seriously and taking that consistent, serious action. You think you can just do something a few times and then you're done. And if you look at it from that approach, like even with physical body, a diet, it's a short-term mindset. Instead, make lifestyle changes. I mean, we've probably all heard that for decades now. So it's true. And it carries over to every area of life. And that's why that pillar of the Wild Worth method is so important, influencing the environments that influence you. So, if you've had any backslides, or if you have something that you want to work on, share that and look at how you can adjust things in your environment to help move you along more easily, and not have things grab and pull you back. Because you can do this. You are more powerful than you know. Much love. Have a great day.